Welcome to Power in Words, a sanctuary where we gather not merely to read, but to feel, to heal, and to ignite the embers within our souls. This is a space dedicated to the profound energy that language carries, a place where a single sentence can act as a key to unlock the heaviest doors of your mind. Today, we stand together at the precipice of a great and terrifying truth, a principle that has the capacity to liberate you from the gilded cage of your own expectations. We are here to dismantle the paralyzing myth of the masterpiece and embrace the gritty, beautiful reality of completion. We are here to explore the profound wisdom found in the words of Sheryl Sandberg, "Done is better than perfect." A heavy silence sits in the room of your potential. It is a suffocating quiet, born not of peace, but of a held breath. You know this silence well. It is the pause before you send that email, the hesitation before you paint that canvas, the endless nights spent staring at a blinking cursor on a blank white screen. You are waiting. You are waiting for the stars to align, for the lighting to be just right, for the manuscript of your life to be typo-free before you even press the first key. You are waiting for perfection. Let us be honest in this safe space. You are not waiting for excellence. You are hiding. You are hiding behind a shield of high standards because the alternative, the vulnerability of being seen, of being judged, of being merely good, feels unbearable. Perfectionism is not a quest for the best. It is a pursuit of the worst kind of safety. It is a defense mechanism, a 20-ton shield that we lug around thinking it protects us from criticism, when in reality it only prevents us from taking flight. The wisdom of "done is better than perfect" is not a call to mediocrity. Do not mistake this mantra for an excuse to be lazy or to produce work that lacks heart. Far from it. It is a call to courage. It is the understanding that the only thing that truly exists in this world is that which is delivered, that which is shipped, that which is spoken. An imperfect poem written on a napkin can make a stranger cry and heal a broken heart. A perfect poem that exists only in your head, refined over and over until it dissolves into nothingness, helps no one. It touches no soul. It changes no life. It is a ghost, haunting the corridors of what could have been. We must realize that the desire for perfection is often a mask for the fear of failure. We tell ourselves, "I will launch this business when the website is flawless," or "I will start running when I have the best shoes and the perfect weather." But deep down, the psychologist within us knows the truth. We are afraid that if we try and it is not perfect, we are not enough. Consider the potter and the clay. There is a famous parable that perfectly illustrates the psychological weight of this concept. A ceramics teacher announced on opening day that he was dividing the class into two groups. All those on the left side of the studio, he said, would be graded solely on the quantity of work they produced. On the final day of term, he would bring in his bathroom scales and weigh the work of the quantity group. 50 pounds of pots would be an A, 40 pounds a B, and so on. Those on the right side of the studio, however, would be graded solely on quality. They needed to produce only one pot, but that pot had to be perfect. The weeks went by. The quantity group busily churned out piles of work, making mistakes, learning from them, throwing clay, laughing, failing, and trying again. They were covered in dust and focused on the act of doing. The quality group sat and theorized. They debated the perfect aesthetic. They agonized over the symmetry. They were paralyzed by the enormity of the task, perfection. When the final day arrived, a curious fact emerged. The works of highest quality were all produced by the group being graded for quantity. Why? Because while the quality group was busy theorizing about perfection, the quantity group was busy practicing. They made mistakes, and through the doneness of each bad pot, they learned the mechanics required to make a great one. By seeking perfection, the second group produced almost nothing of value. By seeking done, the first group achieved excellence. This is the trap you are in. You are sitting in the corner of the studio, staring at a lump of clay, afraid to touch it lest you leave a fingerprint that isn't divine. Sheryl Sandberg's words are an invitation to get your hands dirty. They are a permission slip to make the ugly first draft. In the world of writing, there is a sacred concept known as the vomit draft. It is the version of the story where you simply let it out, where the grammar is poor, that the plot holes are gaping, and the dialogue is wooden, But it exists, and because it exists, it can be fixed. You cannot fix a blank page. You cannot edit silence. You can only improve what is already done. When you accept that done is the gateway to better, you unlock a momentum that is unstoppable. Think of the projects burying you right now. The ideas gathering dust in the back of your mind. Why are they there? Is it because you lack the skill? Rarely. It is because you are looking at the summit of the mountain and refusing to take the first step because you might stumble. But the stumble is part of the dance. The stumble is where the learning lives. When you release a project into the world, even if it is only 80% right, you gain something that the perfectionist never gets: feedback. The real world engages with your work. You learn what resonates and what falls flat. You enter a conversation with reality. The perfectionist, locked in their ivory tower, is having a monologue with their own ego. They are protecting an image of themselves rather than projecting their value into the world. There is a deep emotional toll to this paralysis. It breeds anxiety. It feeds depression. Every day that you delay your dreams in the name of perfection, a small part of your spirit withers. You begin to identify with the procrastination. You start to believe that you are a person who cannot finish things. This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The weight of the undone is heavy. It sits on your shoulders while you eat. It wakes you up at 3 a.m. It is the burden of potential energy that has nowhere to go. Completing a task, even imperfectly, releases that energy. It provides a dopamine hit, a sense of closure, and the mental space to move on to the next thing. Done is a mercy. Done is a kindness you bestow upon yourself. It is the act of saying, I am human, this is my offering, and it is enough for today. Let us look at the modern landscape of our lives. We are bombarded by curated images of perfection. We see the highlight reels of others, the filtered photos, the edited videos, the success stories that seem to happen overnight. And we compare our messy behind-the-scenes footage to their polished final cut. This comparison is the thief of joy and the enemy of progress. You must remember that every expert was once a beginner. Every best-selling author once wrote a sentence that made no sense. Every CEO once made a decision that cost them money. The difference is that they did not stop. They did not wait for the perfect moment. They seized the imperfect moment and made it perfect through action. Sheryl Sandberg, operating in the high-stakes world of technology and leadership, understood that speed matters. In a rapidly changing world, if you wait until you are 100% sure, you are already too late. The window of opportunity closes while you are still polishing the glass. Imagine for a moment that your life is a house. Perfectionism is the refusal to invite anyone inside until every speck of dust is gone, every cushion is plumped, and a 5-course meal is prepared. As a result, the house is always empty. You are lonely in your pristine cathedral. Done is better than perfect is opening the door when the toys are on the floor and ordering a pizza. It is saying, come in, let us connect. It prioritizes the connection, the output, the relationship, and the reality over the image. It chooses life over the simulation of life. We often feel that if we present something imperfect, we will be rejected. But vulnerability, the courage to show up imperfectly, is actually what draws people in. People connect with cracks. They connect with the struggle. When you launch the beta version of your project or yourself, you are inviting the world to build it with you. This philosophy applies to the deepest chambers of our hearts, not just our careers. Think of the apologies we don't send because we can't find the perfect words to express our remorse. So the silence grows and the relationship dies. A clumsy, heartfelt "I am sorry" delivered today is infinitely better than a poetic, perfect apology delivered 5 years too late at a graveside. Think of the love we don't express because we are waiting for the perfect romantic setting. Love is in the messy Tuesday mornings, not just the candlelit dinners. Life is happening in the imperfect now. If you miss the done, you miss the life. Let's go deeper into the psychology of the critic. Inside your head, there is a voice that sounds like a stern parent or a cruel teacher. It tells you that if it isn't perfect, it's trash. This voice is a liar. It is a primitive part of your brain trying to keep you safe from social ostracization. But we are no longer in the tribe where a mistake means exile. We are in a world that rewards volume, consistency, and authenticity. You must learn to negotiate with this critic. You must say, I hear your concern, but we are going to ship this anyway. You must detach your self-worth from the outcome. You are not your work. Your value as a human being is absolute and unchanging. Whether your project gets 1,000 likes or 0, whether your report is praised or critiqued, you are worthy. When you separate your soul from your output, you gain the freedom to be prolific. You can play. You can experiment. The stakes are no longer life or death. They are just part of the game. Let us walk through the landscape of the almost. The graveyard of human achievement is not filled with failures. It is filled with the almosts. The book that was almost written, the business that was almost started, the trip that was almost taken. These ghosts whisper of a perfection that never came. Do not let your life become a graveyard of almosts. Be a collector of dones. A done is a brick. It might be a chipped brick, a slightly uneven brick, but it is solid. And with enough bricks, you can build a castle. With almosts, you can build nothing but regret. Regret is the residue of perfectionism. It is the bitter aftertaste of the shots you didn't take. How do we break this cycle? How do we move from the paralysis of perfect to the liberation of done? It starts with redefining our standards. We must replace perfect with effective. Did this piece of work do its job? Did it convey the message? Did it move the needle? If yes, it is successful. We must embrace the concept of iteration. Look at the software on your phone. It is constantly updating. Version 1.0 was likely buggy and ugly, but if the developers had waited for version 15.0 to launch, the company would not exist. Your life is a series of updates. You are currently in version U.0. It is okay to have bugs. It is okay to crash sometimes. The goal is to release the update, not to hoard the code. Close your eyes and visualize the project that came to your mind when you clicked on this content. You know the one that makes your stomach tighten with a mix of excitement and dread. Imagine it finished. Not perfect, just finished. Imagine it out in the world. Imagine the weight lifting off your chest. Feel the space open up. That feeling is freedom. That feeling is power. And it is accessible to you right now. All it requires is the lowering of the bar. Yes, lower the bar. Make the hurdle step over able. Tell yourself, I will write one terrible page today. I will do one messy workout today. By lowering the bar, you trick the brain into starting. And once you start, the magic of flow takes over. Motion creates emotion. Action creates inspiration. You cannot think your way into a new way of acting, but you can act your way into a new way of thinking. We must also talk about the arrogance of perfectionism. It sounds harsh, but there is an element of ego in believing that the world is watching you so closely that they will notice every flaw. The truth is, the world is busy. People are consumed by their own lives, their own insecurities. They are not scrutinizing your work with a magnifying glass. They are glancing at it while waiting for the bus. This realization should be liberating. You have the anonymity to fail. You have the space to grow. No one is keeping a scorecard of your missteps as closely as you are. The spotlight you feel is imaginary. Step out of it and just work. Work with the joy of a child who draws a stick figure and calls it a masterpiece because they enjoyed the act of drawing. Sheryl Sandberg's advice is a lantern in the fog. It guides us through the murky waters of self-doubt. It reminds us that perfect is the enemy of good. Good allows us to move forward. Good allows us to contribute. When you strive for perfection, you are making it about you. When you settle for done, you are making it about the work and the people it serves. It is an act of service to finish. It is an act of selfishness to withhold your gifts because the wrapping paper isn't shiny enough. The world needs your voice. It needs your art. It needs your ideas. It does not need them perfect. It needs them present. It needs them here, now, in all their ragged glory. Let the rough edges remain. Let the brushstrokes show. In Japanese culture, there's a concept called wabi-sabi, the appreciation of the imperfect, the impermanent, and the incomplete. A cracked tea bowl is repaired with gold lacquer, highlighting the crack rather than hiding it. The flaw becomes part of the history, part of the beauty. Your attempts, your done projects, are your gold lacquer. They show that you lived. They show that you tried. They show that you were brave enough to bring something into existence where there was once nothing. This is the ultimate act of creation, to bring something from the void into the light. Do not strangle it at the threshold. because it isn't dressed in its Sunday best. As we draw near the end of this journey, I want you to make a pact with yourself, a pact of completion. Promise yourself that you will be a finisher, that you will choose the discomfort of done over the comfort of dreaming. Understand that every time you finish something, you build self-trust. You prove to yourself that you are reliable. This confidence will compound. It will grow until the fear of perfection becomes a distant memory, a whisper that you no longer heed. You will become a machine of execution, a force of nature that cannot be stopped by the triviality of a flaw. You will realize that the horizon of perfection is unreachable, so you might as well enjoy the run. The sun does not wait to be perfect before it rises. It simply rises, sometimes behind clouds, sometimes in a blaze of glory, but it always shows up. The river does not wait for a perfect straight line to the ocean. It twists, it turns, it crashes over rocks, but it keeps moving. Nature does not know perfection. It only knows persistence. It only knows done. You are part of nature. Your rhythm should be the rhythm of the tides, not the rigidity of a machine. Flow, move, crash, rise. Just do not stop. So take a deep breath. Look at that unfinished task. Forgive yourself for the delay. Forgive yourself for the fear. And then, with trembling hands if necessary, finish it. Press send, publish, speak. Let it be messy. Let it be real. Let it be done. Because in the end, the only things we regret are the words we left unspoken and the songs we left unsung. Do not die with your music still inside you. Let it out, crack notes and all. The world is waiting not for your perfection, but for your presence. Embrace the messy. Embrace the finished. Embrace the done. If these words have found a home in your heart, take one small action right now. If these words have found a home in your heart, if they have sparked a light in the darkness of your doubt, please take one small action right now. Like this video and subscribe to Power in Words. Join our community of dreamers and doers, and let us continue to walk this path of growth, imperfection, and beautiful action together.